Hello all, it's Melinda. Today I'm going to do my random Pinterest pick, and today the number was 226, and that ended up being this layout on my scrappy book goodness Pinterest board. To be honest, I'm a little bit scared. It is perfectly messy, and there's stamps involved and lots of watercolory splots and just a pile of things under the photo. It makes my heart do a pitter patter looking at it. I just don't know if I can do this justice, but we're going to try. The photo I'm choosing today is this one of my younger daughters. And kind of the concept of today's layout is life can get messy, but you need to remember to find reasons to smile. The story is about a rough day she had at school, and me getting her to smile while I was working there is something I was trying to teach her a lesson of how to get through some things. So I'm hoping that it does what I want it to do. This is watercolor paper that I have painted with clear gesso. I did a whole bunch of them last night to dry, so it has a rough texture to it. It'll be able to grab the paint really well. So let's stick you on fast forward so you can see what kind of mess I can make with this. I'm going to start out by cutting the photo with a thin white mat. That one was a little more difficult, a little crooked. And I'm generally thinking that the way she's looking, I want the photo to be placed right about there. I'm going to pull out some of the stuff from my August tip kit, thinking I might use some of it. And I'm going to pull out some inks. I'm going to start by spraying water in a diagonal just to start me out. And I'm going to grab my water paintbrush. And this is Shimmers. Nope, I'm sorry, this is not a Shimmers, it's a chalk paint. And I'm blobbing and trying to move it around so it's not as spotty. Basically, I'm trying to make a mess. And this is Heidi Swap in pink. More water. This is Ginny B Blue Vibes. This is a mermaid marker. At this point, I'm just grabbing things and hoping to make something that isn't atrocious. I should have had two of the wet mark or the water brushes out because I started to use them on both colors and was starting to make purple. This is another mermaid marker, and that one's a pretty bright pink. I'm wiping it off, but it's still not quite off, so it kind of gives it a little purple hue. And I kind of trying to emulate the layout in making big messy blobs. I needed to add some more blue up here, so I'm just spreading it around. And I'm trying to keep in mind that a lot of this will be covered up, so if it's looking hideous to me now, I won't see a lot of it, which is making me happy. Just splattering it. At this point, I really feel like I'm out of my element, so to speak. I just think it needs to move around more, so I'm adding more water. I'm going to towel it off so it's not so vibrant. That's my MO. I get scared and I towel it off. I'm going to really quick give it a shot of heat because I want to do some stamping. This is Blue Fern, and I know that came up there fast, so let me see if I can pull it out and tell you what it actually is. Essential Textures is the stamp. And this one's sort of like a chain link fence to me, or a mesh net. And most of it is not a first stamp off. This is just a script one that I got at Joann's. And this is Carabella. I've used this one in the past, the circles. There's really not a plan in my head as I'm stamping around. I'm going to use the other one. This one, the smaller blob, I'm trying to like put a circle around them to make them, I don't know, more important maybe. I'm just using black ink, and I don't like how bright that one off the top is, so I'm going to spritz my Dilutions white on it. Dab it up, and I do notice that my black ink is a bit smeary where I put this white, so I'm not sure if it's not water soluble or what. So I'm going to try some smooshing to get it around more, just to tone down some of the bright and the dark stamps. One more time with the heat gun, and then I believe the last thing I do to this is the Heidi Swap. Oh, nope. I forgot. Texture paste. This is a new tube of texture paste that I got. I think I got it at Joann's. It's in a tube. I never had one like this. Easy to apply. I just squirt it on. We'll see how much I like it in the future for other type of applications. I'm just using an old credit card. I wanted it to be a thin layer so that it didn't take forever to dry. It is not really white, or maybe it's just this application of it. It's kind of more of a taupey muddy color, but that may have picked up some of the black ink too. But this is just the Heidi Swap color shining gold. Right now, to me, this looks like a hot mess. I'm going to dry my mat off and set the whole layout aside to dry and build my pile. This is the tissue paper that comes with the hip kit. It's wrapped in this. So instead of doing my accordion fold messiness over it, I'm just going to cut it all up, wrinkle it up, and create layers that I can staple together. So many sheets. Just give it a staple so they still kind of move around a little bit. That is a glassine bag and a gold doily and a big doily. This is packing off of one of the Hit Kit embellishment packs. Now, I know eventually I would love to use this as a border on a layout, but I can use the center for a layer in this. So this is from the Hip Kit too. So I'm just gonna roughly cut. You'd think I could use a straight line if I used a ruler, but no, it doesn't come out straight. And I don't need that whole thing, so I'm just going to take apart the part I need. I know I need to add some pink, so I have this little strip in my thing, and it's too narrow, but I can tape it together and no one will know except for you. And create a chunk that I can use. I wasn't sure whether I wanted to use the polka dot side or the stripy side, but there was a lot of stripes going on, so the polka dot side won. I was going to cut that, and I thought, you know what, maybe later on it'll be better, so I just wrinkled it in the center, trying to just figure out the order of the layers. This is also from the Hip Kit. In the layout, they have some wood and enamel arrows, and I thought this looked very, very arrowish. So I could cut these 3 different colors and trim them down. I go 3 black rows, and they create little like chevron arrows. I was going to leave the white, and I decided not to. And I'm just sitting them out like as if the 12 by 12 background is there, so I kind of know where I want them. Grabbing some flare and a tag. This is out of the ephemera pack from the kit, and it is just a frame that I'm going to use as photo corners. And then there's another one that is that peachy pink color. And I'm going to also add that as the opposite photo colors. My plan is just to glue the picture and then set these on here. And then I have to fix what I didn't glue. And then I believe this makes it, yep, a little bit wider, so I can unfold that then. I decide that I want this to be a shape on the side, so I grab my big EK Success double dot scallop. The paper clip doesn't end up staying, but it hangs around for a while. I figured the layout is dry enough, so bring it back and see what it looks like on here. I'm going to get all these situated just how I want them, and then I'm going to staple them. I decided to fold that in half so it has a little more heft, a little more girth to it, a little more full. And if I can slip that in there, I plan on journaling on that tag but not have it hidden. I like that flare badge. It says sparkle on it because it's the same pink as the pinkish frame and the tag, that peachy pink color. And I know I want to use this bow because how often am I going to get to use these big bows? Then on this layout with a pile of stuff. Just trying to figure it out. The label does stay there, but the flare badge does not. It'll eventually get moved. I'm going to use this really thick twine that I got at Joann's in their little dollar bin of stuff. I first tie a bow and I thought, I don't like that. When I put it up there, I just don't like it. Nope. So I'm going to twirl it, and then loop it and staple it. I'm going to sew those down. One strip, hot pink, it was in my sewing machine. I'm going to start working on my title. And I've settled on, remember to find reasons to smile. And I couldn't have any M's left, so I used a W. And because it's gold dipped on the bottom, I turned the W upside down as gold dip on the top, so I turned the I upside down as well. Just so the W wasn't lonely being an M. I say that doesn't stay. What's bothering me about the paperclip is that it's silver. The heart works, the silver doesn't. I think that's finally gone. Yes. And then I'm just going to fuss with this, trying to figure out where I want it. There we go. That's how that will look. I'm going to stamp just the date one time on the label. I'm going to get the rest of the title out. These letter stickers came in a past kit. They're black. They're just a Hip Kit brand. And I'm going to put reasons in that. I will get the S. There we go. And these are Tim Holtz tile stickers, and they look like, oh, that, I can't think of what that stuff is that you use to punch, indent, emboss, I'm not sure. A Dymo tab labeler. That's what it was. And I spelled remember wrong. I'm missing an M. I do not catch it until after I post it on Instagram, so it stays misspelled through the whole video. Just using my Tombow Mono to glue that down. And I glued them down a little askew, a little crazy. I'm gonna commit to this with some double-sided tape. With it being so mixed media underneath of it, I was afraid my ATG eventually would pop off. It sometimes does not like gessoed surfaces. I often use hot glue to glue things down when I do a gessoed background, but I didn't have it plugged in. I'm just going to pull off some stars off this chipboard sheet. I'm going to lay them in a pile here. They're not going to stay there, just so I can get them all off. I find those very hard to remove. Not just this one, all chipboard sheets like that. That's where that's going to live. I'm not even going to draw lines, which is very odd for me. Then I remember that these are not going to stick to the mixed media background either. So I'm going to really quick glue them. I'm glad I didn't glue the tile letters down because I wasn't able to fix my remember if I'd done that. I don't even write lines. I just say, never give the power to make you happy to someone else. You are enough. Love, Mom. And like I said in the intro, she had had a rough day, and I wouldn't call it bullying, but someone hurt her feelings and she was letting it ruin her whole day. Here's some slow close-ups. To be honest, I do not love this layout. And I certainly love the inspiration piece much more than I love mine. But I gave it a good go. On the back, I write 1/16 of 2017, the date, random Pinterest pick, process video 36, Mind the Scrap Summer Challenge, and it was 25 points. There will be a little bit extra here because I decided that I wanted to add tissue paper, or not tissue paper, text washi tape, I'm sorry. I ripped it in half and I thought, where am I going to stick this? No, I'll stick it there. It sticks out a little bit and I'll show you that up close. It just added another texture to the bottom. It almost looks like a stamp to me. And there's the remember spelled wrong. I want to thank you for watching. There is quite a few still shots of close-ups coming up. Have a wonderful evening. Bye.